Yeah, man. This is Kevin Christian, and today is the 11th of February, 2021. And I want to talk about something that's been going on for about 5 years now. Um, it's just part of this gang stalking thing and this neural monitoring, this campaign of gang stalking to try to discredit or get rid of me or harm me in any way they can. And make me look bad, and whatever else they can do against me. Um, there's a girl that I know that I believe has possession of my neurological broadcast frequency account known as remote neural monitoring or neural monitoring or broadcast or EMF broadcast, whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is, their mind control. Okay, your mind control interface online on the internet. They all have their own. And about 8 years ago, when I started to discover some of that stuff, was when they started to gang stalk me. And it is some people that I knew that some of them, it was quite a few of them actually, and I was close to some of them. Um, but not long after the gang stalking began, uh, quite a few people that I didn't know started to come on to my channel. What was what I call it, my channel. My I used to call it the readout, my readout, because I at first in the beginning I thought they were actually reading off of a screen what I was thinking, and that's how they knew what I was thinking because they always say it back to you. And the reason they say it back to you is because they're on mind control. I mean, they got the thing they call a mind control on their head. Looks like a EEG thing, and they receive you. They receive your thoughts. So this satellite broadcast system is the in between. It's a computer satellite broadcast system that can receive you. EMF is like the EMF, the electromagnetic field of Earth. It's like the infrastructure. It's like a network of cell phone towers. It's a global network energy field that exists everywhere. And that is the infrastructure of this web, this EMF web that is used by this satellite broadcast system. And it can pick up every single thing that your mind processes, including thoughts, vision, imagination, dreams, feelings, all of it. And they can receive that. They can go on their neural monitoring, which they have access and possession. And it's not some bizarre thing that I've just now, you just now heard about. Millions and millions of people have access to neural monitoring. Politicians and athletes and movie stars, regular people, um, really like regular nobodies have access to neural monitoring. And I believe that that was intentional to make sure that this thing didn't become some thing like the Matrix, where everybody's on mind control, just basically slaves of the mind, and the mind controls the body. So, about 5 years ago, in 2017, I remember they brought or they let a new guy started talking out loud with the several people that were already talking out loud. And that's what they call artificial telepathy or synthetic telepathy, or more commonly known as V2K, which I think they're actually something different, because neural monitoring is a broadcast thing and it works from your neurological broadcast frequency, because we all have our own signature frequency that we are. And that doesn't require a microchip or anything like that. And I think V2K, voice to skull, is something more like a microchip required type of thing. And that would be like an actual voice in your head or in your ear that is more like a walkie talkie type of thing, where somebody could talk to you and they could hear you talking back. But EMF broadcast neural monitoring, this mind control thing, is way different. They can receive everything that you're thinking. And if you imagine a sound, like you hear your favorite song playing in your head, like they can hear that. It's one of the things that they love about me is the creative things that my mind comes up with, and then the accuracy of my imaginations of envisioning something, or like if I'm hearing my favorite song in my head, the accuracy of it, the depth of the quality of it It's like a measure of the strength of your mind almost. And they love that. And they can connect to you on neural monitoring, and then they receive that. And so they're on mind control. That's what they call being on mind control. And they receive that in their mind. And then on their neural monitoring, they have that. They have that recorded as if their mind came up with it themselves. And that's intellectual content. And that's something that they can make money off of, that they steal from you. But let me get down to the biggest issue that I'm having right now. Right now, these are my natural God-given teeth, okay? And these front teeth right here, I'm gonna lose them. I can tell that I'm gonna lose them because they're getting very loose, and it's been about 5 years since 2017 when they started broadcasting in my mouth. It was like a new thing that they did. I was like, stop broadcasting in my mouth, you know? And when you don't like something, it becomes the thing that they want to do to you the most, because they are very aware of what you don't like and what makes you uncomfortable. But I think mostly, you know, imagine me smiling, right? And like missing my two front teeth. Who's going to be hearing anything I got to say? That's a huge discredit right up front. Like, bam. Like, oh yeah, listen to this guy. So for the last about 4 or 5 days, though, it's been very heavy, and I can feel like an electric voltage running through my teeth all the way up into like the roots of it, the full thing. And they were doing like the top 8 and bottom 8, the whole front section. And I've started talking about it a lot on videos the last couple of days, and now they've narrowed it down to just the front 2, and they're very loose. And over the years, they have deteriorated my gums very heavily, and I'm certain that I'm going to lose some teeth, if not all of them, and I'm going to end up with false teeth, like implants, which I'm sure they'll be okay. But these are my real God-given teeth, and that's not something you can get back. And that's their intention. They broadcast into my mouth on purpose every day, and they broadcast into my eyes. My left knee has bone, like you can tell that there's bone damage from broadcast. I can tell, and now they're starting to broadcast into my feet a lot. Into the bones of my feet. They broadcast attack my genitals. They broadcast attack my eyes on a daily basis. But this teeth thing, it's gonna be the next thing that's a major problem for my life. And the thing with my eyes, right? They haven't broadcast much in my eyes over the last 2 days because they started hurting my eyes, and they were like my whole eyelids and everything were burned 2 days ago. And so they back off. They'll start again, because they always do, because they get on mind control, right? They're not just receiving me. Being on mind control could be multiple things. They can actually live as a broadcast, like a hologram broadcast, representation of themselves or whatever they decide for that broadcast to be. They could broadcast as Barney the dinosaur if they want to. And then in their mind, they are that broadcast, and they can experience life as if they were that broadcast that's somewhere else, like an outer body experience, like a ghost. And that on mind control, they can do that. And that's one of the things that they do. As far as attacking you, that is how they attack you. A broadcast can be this big, or a broadcast can be 10 feet tall. It just depends on how they set it up on their neural monitoring, what they use. They can broadcast like that. And with the broadcast that they have now, one thing that I know also is if 2 people are connected on neural monitoring, all right, for like you're connected, you can receive each other, you can talk to each other over artificial synthetic telepathy, which is out loud. By the way, I've seen some comments kind of debating on how that is, and so I'll tell you how it is. If they're broadcast to my right, 5 feet, that's where it sounds like the noise is coming from. Okay, like energies around you, like a fan motor or a refrigerator motor or traffic going by or the wind blowing or any kind of disbursement of energy, sound stuff, they can seem as if they're coming from that. If they just broadcast and have the sound dispersing off of those real sounds, it's like artificial telepathy is a signal, and it can ride on actual sound waves and like disperse off of that. So it can sound like, you know, if a dog's barking, it could sound like they're coming from that sound, and it like hijacks that sound, and it almost starts to sound like, you know, like a dog's talking. And that's how artificial telepathy works. It can also be very clear, stand alone, like it's coming from nothing, standing right next to you. It's because they're broadcasted like a hologram standing right next to you. In some circumstances, you can see that to some degree as a human with your human eyes, depending on the conditions and your sensitivities to light and how fast your mind can process the waves that it can see, and you know, whether you're seeing it out of your peripheral or looking directly at it, and how transparent it is, how powerful they broadcast it. If they want you to see it, you can see it. If they broadcast it in that way, they have the settings, they have access to the neural monitoring. But with those broadcasts, they can detect you, they can get on your body. So if two people are connected on neural monitoring, they have what they call a monitor. So say even two gang stalkers, two people that have neural monitoring, they connect to each other because they want to receive each other, they want to talk to each other over artificial telepathy, and they want it to be that way, and they set it up that way intentionally, not like us where it's unconsensual and invasive. And so they have what they call a monitor on each other, and that's a little broadcast that you can put your broadcast on them, and they put a broadcast on you, and that's the connection. And from there, you can work with all the settings. Okay, but if you don't have access to neural monitoring, they have their own, and they can get access to yours, which this girl that has control over mine, she allows these people, these Howard Circle guys and others, to be on my neural monitoring. So yeah, they're commenting to me now because they know that I'm talking real accurate, and they don't like it when it sounds sensible or it makes sense. When somebody knows how to explain it in a way that people who are lost can understand this. But when they make that connection unconsensually because they have access to your neural monitoring and their own, and they're able to set that connection up, they can put a monitor on you, and that's a little broadcast that they can connect to and live as, and crawl around your body and go into your, go in and start waving around in your heart, in your lungs, in your kidneys, in your genitals, in your eyeballs, in your teeth. And it is 100% a thought out intention for them to do things to harm your body. And so, if I were to smile at you and not have no front teeth, you'd probably look at me a little differently. But, if I had perfect teeth when I smile in the mirror, and you might take me a little more serious, but it's going to be devastating to me either way if they're not my real teeth, because these are my God-given real teeth. And I don't want to lose them, but I'm going to. I'm going to lose them. I'm going to lose most of them, if not all of them, because they've been broadcasting these particle matter, EMF, microwave broadcasts that they're controlling on mind control, living as, and they've been crawling in my mouth with them for 5 years every day now. And I can't bite into a strawberry. It hurts. It hurts 9 teeth if I bite into a strawberry. I'm going to end up eating chicken noodle soup every day. And, and when I get done with a video like this, the first thing they do is show me how they don't care, how facetious they can be, and double the efforts broadcast in my mouth and show me that nobody cares. Nobody cares, Kevin. Nobody's going to help you. So right now, I've had it together for a while. They want to destroy you, but I've learned to deal with it, and I've decided to make a run for it as far as being successful in my life. And so I work hard every day, and I'm going to college full time, and I work full time, and I'm trying to get my money up, and what's going to happen is about the time I'm ready to drop 10 or 20 on a lawyer and get these problems underway, taken care of, or get the solution happening, then I'm going to end up having to spend all of that on some implant teeth. And it's going to set me back. I'm not going to look like a junky idiot, you know, like the type of people that she gives neural monitoring to and lets them have access to mine. Those type of people. The type of people that spent half their life in prison, covered in prison tattoos, that she thinks are some kind of legends. Type of people that want to borrow money for their re-ups. The type of people that that get their neural monitoring, you know, and become gang stalkers that torture people and use it for advantages, like to rape women and to suppress people that might be a threat to their way of life. People that are not trying to see slavery and human trafficking and torture and suppression, parasitic degeneration of humanity. So, yeah, I'll probably be able to solve my problem and buy some really nice, perfect implanted teeth. And that's going to devastate me because I like my God-given teeth. And I wanted to keep them for my whole life. And now I got Howard Circle gang stalkers giving access to my neural monitoring, using it every day, using broadcast for a mutilation type of torture, to discredit me, to harm me, attempted murder. And that's what I'm facing, and I know a lot of you guys are too. So, I've been looking into it. I thought about writing the sheriff, since the sheriff is the highest ranking law enforcement. Unfortunately, some of the gang stalkers that I'm dealing with personally know the sheriff in my town. And so that's going to be probably a chain of command that I'm going to skip, because I've already been through the local police and I've fussed with them and wrote up 30 police reports, and they don't call me back. And I've requested speak to a superior. You know, I've talked to captains. Not captains. I've talked to detectives. I haven't had any luck to get to the captain. I've requested. I've left many messages for a sergeant at our department about the 30 police reports that have gone unanswered, and I've got no return call from them. I've done this on my YouTube channel live, tried to contact them. I've contacted the FBI and the IC3, the Internet Crimes Division of the FBI. Publicly, I did this on my channel so everybody could see that I'm making those efforts, and I've not heard back from them. And that's been months ago, and that's the one I did public. Before that, I've done several other reports to them to try to get them to reply to me or some attention to this situation on many other occasions over the last 8 years. I've tried to contact my state investigation bureau, the GBI, and I was able to get in touch with them, but they told me that they are, and I've looked into it, and it's true, they are not allowed to just take on a case. They have to be called in to assist on a case by a district attorney or a police chief or a sheriff or some sort of judge, a Supreme Court judge, or something like that. They have to be called in as, can you come help us? The GBI won't help me without being referred to them by the somebody lower than them. So I guess I'm planning on now to write letters and certify those letters when I send them, send them certified mail or signature or something like that, or hand deliver them to the district attorney in my county about the whole situation. And I want to go ahead and just be honest. And I know it sounds bizarre. I want to just talk about hacking, so maybe they'll take me seriously and get involved, and that can lead to the neural monitoring and the broadcast torture and all of those types of things. But what I want to actually do is just be honest about it and say, here's the whole scenario and here's the people involved. And I can name 20 people involved in 20 places of residence where they live, and and talk about another 20 or 30 people that have been involved that I can't name because I don't know them. But I do know quite a few of them personally, and I can name those people. And I do know where quite a few of them reside, and I can name those locations. And I can back up a lot of what I'm saying. And the continued hacking of all of my devices, networks, social media accounts, other accounts, my networks, and all of the data that I've collected and their files that I've been able to obtain, and everything that I've gotten over the last 8 years, it's going to back up a lot of what I'm saying. And so I also plan on, if I have to, or maybe just anyway, to skip that and write my representatives, the representatives in Congress and the governor, and maybe, I know it's maybe not appropriate to contact the representatives about this type of thing, but I want to at least contact them to make them aware of the situation and aware of my efforts to contact the appropriate authorities. And I've been working on this for a long time, and I want to put together civil cases, class action cases, and even against companies like Google and Android and Apple and these device makers, Windows, Microsoft, that they know that this is going on, because these gang stalkers are able to get into any device anytime. They can get into anything. If I buy a brand new MacBook Pro tomorrow and it's fully updated to the day on the newest security and everything, these gang stalkers can be in it in 5 minutes and have it completely taken over. And so there's no way that Apple computer doesn't know that. There's no way that Microsoft doesn't know that. There's no way that Android and Google don't know that. They know that. They all know it. They all know it, and the government knows it. Okay? The leaders, the government, the leaders, the representatives, the president, the House of Representatives, senators and congressmen, your governors, and a lot of your high ups, they all know it. They have neural monitoring. They have their own. There's nobody attacking them. This whole Havana syndrome thing, remote neural monitoring. It's EMF broadcast attacks. It's just satellite broadcast attacks. It's affecting our weather. These microwaves flying everywhere, and it's got particle matter in it as well. You can feel it too much to it for it not to. When they penetrate your flesh, and it hurts, and there's some voltage to it, and it hurts, and you can tell when you experience this. And it's evaporating our moisture in the air and clouds, and it's having an effect on our weather. And wonder why you have a 3-week winter with no snow and radiant, hot 100-degree days, global warming and all of this stuff. Yeah, it's real, y'all. It's a real crisis going on. You got the mind control revolution, and they're not saying nothing because they've been using it inappropriately, to say the least, for many, many years before these gang stalkers were using it in the way that they're using it. And gang stalkers are able to get away with this because they got that leverage. They have the leverage because of how long this has been out there. You're going to have riots in the street, collapse of modern societies. When everyone realizes your thoughts aren't safe, mind control exists. How long have we been under mind control? What are we receiving on broadcast? Who's been playing with my mind? Who's been doing stuff to my body? What do pharmaceutical companies have at stake here? How many diagnoses and drugs are sold out there? How many hundreds of billions of dollars are a result of people experiencing broadcast-related symptoms, whether it be pain in your body or psychological? Psychiatric industry will collapse. I think state and federal governments will collapse. I don't know who's in charge anymore. New World Order, maybe. I don't know. There's not enough money in existence to pay the class actions that would have to happen. And this is where we're at with society, and billions of people don't have a clue what's going on. So they'll buy into it if everybody says, you know, if they can get some police officers to haul you to some place and call you schizophrenic psychosis or something like that, sure. You know, your mothers and your grandmothers and you know, everybody who knows you, they'll buy it. They'll buy it. They'll buy in right into it because they're not experiencing those things, not to the level that you are. And even though it's tens of thousands, if not millions of us having out loud artificial telepathy and broadcast torture every day. And then now there's thousands and thousands of people talking about it, and we're all in agreement and starting to organize. We're all in agreement about how, about what's happening. There's still quite a debate on how this is happening and the specifics of how it's done. Well, I'm telling the truth, I promise. And I've got a lot of personal insight from knowing a lot of these people personally. I've watched people go from normal people that probably were targeted unknowingly to gang stalkers that have their neural monitoring. I really have. And that's where a lot of the insight comes from. So that's what's going on. I'm very upset and frightened to start losing my teeth, my front teeth. I want to keep all my teeth, you know, and I've been begging for help and talking about this publicly for so long. I've been on YouTube for 5.5 years, and I was on other platforms before then. So it's been like 6 or 7 years that I've been on public social platforms talking about this and putting out content about this, about how it works. And if you look back 7 years ago to some of the first things I posted, it was just about the same thing that I'm telling you now, and it was pretty accurate then. There's a few little details that I had to touch up as I learned more over the years. But the base of how this works, I knew then. And when I looked online, I couldn't find anything that even closely resembled the truth. And this is the truth. What I'm telling you, all the things I've been telling you on this video, they're the truth. Anyway, that's what's going on. I really appreciate all of you guys watching and all of the subs. I'll hit 8,000 subs in a week or so, probably. Even though these gang stalkers delete people all the time. They delete comments and people, and they try to suppress us in every way they can. They're into all of my accounts and all of my devices, but we'll hit 8,000 this week. And I really appreciate all of you guys. And I encourage you to document everything, you know, and if you're willing to put yourself out there like that, and you feel like, you know, you've looked at it and you feel like the effect on your life wouldn't be harmful, then do it publicly. But it's something to consider. You definitely want to document it, at least privately. Everything, like do videos to yourself or write journals and document everything every day. I write this stuff down every day. I do videos every day. And I try to arrange things in order and keep it up. And I probably got the most documented case of gang stalking, neural monitoring, and broadcast ever of any human. But this is happening to a lot of people. And I want you guys to be aware of it because it's dead wrong. It's dead wrong and it's evil the way that they're using this technology. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all you guys. I'm going to do everything I can to keep going, be successful, to put myself in a position to solve the type of problems that we have. So thank you.